Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Ma'am.
evening. Sorry, I have like some technical issues, but I'm trying to switch off my camera now. And okay, do you see me now?
Yeah.
That's
Our
great.
greetings to you, ma'am, and welcome to the meet.
Okay, here I am.
We'll be
Hello,
waiting for a
everybody.
few. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
I,
We'll
Hello,
be
ma'am.
waiting for a few minutes for everyone to join, and then we'll begin.
while we will be waiting, I will change the position so that you can see me a bit better.
Okay. So, everyone, let me introduce you to her. Let me begin with a quote. Dieter F. Uchtdorf once said, "As we lose ourselves in the service of others, we discover our own lives and our own happiness." For social workers, their lives are intertwined with those they are serving. They discover more and more about themselves every day as they learn to help those around them. In today's edition of Leo Talks, we have with us a lady who's a digital human rights activist and a journalist with expertise in international relations and communication policies. She is a postgraduate from University of Padua and was a foreign correspondent for BUTV 10's Good Morning BU and On That Point. Besides that, she is a communication specialist with over half a decade of experience and also runs an Instagram blog that is enthusiastically consumed by over 14,000 followers. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming a woman who, in her journey to bring about a positive change, collaborated with UNESCO and the Parliament of Russia, Miss Victoria Zagitova. Welcome, ma'am. We're so glad to have you with us today. Ma'am,
Ma'am,
we can't
actually,
hear you.
your mic is off right now. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's very funny because exactly right now I'm making an Instagram story saying that like before this meeting, 15 minutes, I was trying to switch on my camera and my microphone. So if you want, go to my Instagram and you'll see how my friends were trying to help me to switch on Instagram and sorry, microphone and camera because I don't usually use Google Meet, communication specialist. And it was a really very big challenge for us. So if you want, like, you can see it there. Yeah. So anyway, we can meet now. We can start now, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would like to ask everyone in the participants that if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box.
Hello, everyone again. I'm so sorry.
No.
So I think it was very epic. So at least like, I know that like inside the club, the Lions Club, you have a lot of different speakers. I think they're very serious and great, but I'm pretty sure that you will remember me as a most weird speaker you have ever had, who was always like switching on. Anyway, so at least it's very funny. So I'm already very happy. So I saw that the moderator was saying something, right? So that before starting the meeting, we need to do something. No?
She was just asking all those questions to put them up in the chat box so that we can ask those questions to you later. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. So now I'm going to share my screen so that you see my presentation. So please let me know whether you see it or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
visible.
I do the slideshow. So you see it now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And you see me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us do like this. Okay, so we're going to speak with me today about the topic of career strategy. So I was thinking about different topics because we can definitely like speak about human rights, we can speak about international relations, and I have a lot to share with you. We can speak about journalism, but I think as you are aged, I think that you are studying now at universities, how as far as I understand, I think it's something that is really very important to do when you're at university is to make your own career strategy. That's why I want you today not just to listen to me, but to interact with me. That's why it would be really very helpful if during the meeting with me, you will take some paper and maybe take some pen and do kind of a very interactive meeting with me and do some exercises that we're going to do together. Because at the end of this session with me, I want you all to have at least the first draft of your career strategy that you're going to use for the next 2 or 5 years, or maybe the rest of your life. Because it's strategies that's going to organize your life and you can understand how to reach the goal that you have in your mind. So I'm kind of, let's say, going to organize your dreams that you have inside your head. But before that, let's understand who I am and why I'm speaking about that. So your club has invited me through Instagram because on Instagram I'm doing the blog and I'm exactly like covering these topics. I'm doing kind of youth empowerment there. So I'm sharing the topics. Why I'm doing this Instagram? Because I started it when I was working for UNESCO. There I was working for HR department for human resources. And the topics I was covering there was exactly about how to hire more young people, how to make the organization more attractive for them. And I wanted to analyze and understand the pain points of youngsters, of young graduates, of those people who can potentially work there. So that's why I decided to start this blog and analyze the problems and what is going on. And today, I'm not super big, but anyway, so I have 14,000 youngsters who are watching me, and my videos have reached 1 million views on Instagram. So let's look at the bigger picture first and understand why in general, like you need me now and why you need this session. There are really a lot of different reasons why it's actually super hard for graduates and students to get the first job after college. And there are different reasons why. And believe me, you are not exception in this list. I changed my hair. Anyway, there are really different reasons. And believe me, you are not an exception in this list. The first reason why it's happening, really be very attentive, is because it's after that you need to analyze what is happening in your life and whether you can improve it. The first problem is lack of skills. So what is happening is that, oh, excuse me. Just a second. Everybody sees my screen? Yes? Sorry, guys. Technical issues. Okay, do you see my presentation now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Great, amazing. So anyway, skills and experience. What is happening? Basically, what is happening is that like when we start studying at the university, we are focusing too much on our agenda there. We are doing homework, we are going to classes, but we are lacking the most important thing that you gonna use for your employers. We are not getting experience, not working part-time, not doing the volunteer projects, not doing internships. So at the end of the day, that when we are graduating, we have our CV and it's blank, meaning that you don't know what kind of skills to put there and what kind of experience. And believe me, there are like thousands of people with whom it's happening. The third reason is high competition. So imagine a situation. You're getting your amazing degree. Let's say that you're doing your degree, I don't know, Harvard University, for example. It's cool. It's absolutely great. But the problem is that you are graduating, you are a young graduate, you are applying for the same job that other people who have experience of 10 years in the industry or 15 or 20, they're also applying for the same job. So I think that the answer is very clear, yeah? So who will be in the beneficial position here? The fourth, it's the worst thing ever, is uncertainty with major. It's happening very, very often that when people start studying, they are not sure whether they want to study this or no. They are not sure whether this thing is there or no. And it's really very sad. Not just because like it's something, you know, very rare happening, but because it would be really ideal if you would choose your university according to your interest, understanding that you can use this major in order to get the jobs that you want to have in the future. But unfortunately, it happens not so often. Little networking and no communication skills. I would also like connect it together because unfortunately, maybe for introverts and fortunately for extroverts, communication skills are super important for any job, almost any job. Because sometimes you need to send an email, somewhere you need to make a call, somewhere you need to speak with somebody. So it's really very crucial to develop your communication skills. And networking is super amazing. I know that there is a very big stigma about this, but listen to the statistics. 65 or 70% of people get their job through networking. Think about that 70% can do it like this. What does networking mean? Speaking with different people who work in this area, being a part of the membership, be it your university and the club of the kind of, you know, in the industry, what is connected to the industry you want to work for. So whatever is like networking is super crucial. And another very, very bad thing that is happening when you're studying is that you try to be perfectionist. And believe me, it was happening to me all my life. But unfortunately, life is not about like different grades. It's not about A grade or B grade or C grade. Because at university, you know how it works. You know that if you study a lot, if you learn this, you're going to get it. In life, it doesn't work like this. It's something absolutely uncertain. It's something absolutely unpredictable, where there are no rules you can follow in order to get something. That's why you need to stop being a perfectionist and start being flexible. And I know it's very scary, especially for this generation, because now we have a feeling that we have a lot of different opportunities. And I'm pretty sure that at your young age, you think, oh my God, I can be this. I can have this job or this or this or this. Like, I want to have the best one. What to choose? First, it's normal that it's happening. So already you need to feel better about this. We live in the world where we think that we have a lot of opportunities, and we're always taught by our parents, by our society that, oh, you can do whatever you want. No, you can't do whatever you want. You can't. You need to start doing something, and you need to start taking a decision. You can do whatever you want when you act, but you can't do whatever you want when you think about that. And here, like on the slide, I have a post that I did a week ago or so on my Instagram. So I'm really inviting you to read it, because I'm exactly was writing about this uncertainty we are feeling between 20s and 30s on this period of our life, when we think that we can do whatever we want. But I think that Now you are questioning, thinking like, okay, Victoria, I got it. So you're saying that we have a lot of opportunities. So what I need to do in order to make it not so scary anymore? Action. Action. What does it mean? It means to start doing something. This is the only way how you can go through this uncertainty, through all these opportunities that you are having in your life, in order to understand where to go. Because this is a process of trying. And this is not a process where you always need to find the best way where you can win. It's also a way where you need to fail. And maybe to fail even more than to win. Because this is the only way how you can learn and understand your true way. That's why today I wanted to dedicate this meeting with me, for which I was invited to you, in order for you to make your first action in this uncertainty you're probably living or maybe experiencing. And the first action that we're going to do together today is a career strategy that we're going to do together. And you should be super interactive with me because we're going to do it together. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Cool.
Yes.
So what is a career strategy? Let's understand what is it. It's a plan. It's a plan that you're going to do in which you will have your long-term vision, your goal, and we will understand how to actually to get it and understand who you want to be and how to get it. And there are different absolutely like ways to make this plan, this strategy, but I'm going to present you today the one that I like. You can, of course, criticize it. You can like it, you cannot. So whatever. So the one that I like has 4 steps. First, self-exploration, where you're going to explore yourself, understand what you want. Second, market research. Here we're going to understand what you can do in the job market and what kind of job you can potentially have. Number 3, focus. We're going to understand how you are matching what you want to do. And number 4 is planning. We're going to plan how we're going to match it and how you're going to get it. So let's go. Self-exploration. Self-exploration is a very great opportunity for you now to reflect on who you are, what you want, and what you can do. So we're going to understand now your skills, your interests, your passions, your values, and how you have integrated these things into your past assignments. On the screen now, you see Appendix A, Career History. I want you to take a list of paper and to try to write down the first graph, as you can see here, company and organization, where you worked in your life. Maybe it was somewhere where you did your internship or volunteering experience, whatever. Just write one thing where you worked. On the second graph, write the position you held there. Maybe you've been an intern, maybe you've been a graphic designer, maybe you've been there the manager, like whatever you've been doing. On the third graph, write your achievements. I'm not expecting you like during this little presentation to write all your achievements you've done there, but at least try to indicate one thing that you think is cool that you've done there. For example, you've done a roadmap or you've done a research on American, Canadian, like economic relation, whatever. On the fourth graph, try to write skills that you used there. For example, you used during this experience your communication skills or your writing skills. And the last one, try to write life lessons learned. For example, during this experience when you worked for, I don't know, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you've been an intern, your achievement was that you've done a research on economy in Uruguay. You used your writing skills and the life lessons that you learned, that it's very important to be assertive when you do, when you are, developing your career. or it's very important to network when you are in a political area. So try to reflect on this and do it right now. And again, I'm not expecting you to write a lot now, but I just want you to start, because the hardest thing always, like in whatever you're doing, is to start something. So company, position, achievement, skill, life lesson. So when somebody is done, like indicate it somehow. I hope that like you have indicated already something. And another thing that I want you to do now is to answer the questions that you also see here. The question is, what are the 3 most significant events in my career and why? Again, I'm not expecting you to write 3. You can do it after the session. But try to think at least, do at least a little note what you can potentially write about. Maybe one thing. For example, for me, one of the most significant events I had in my career was when I was fired for the international forum, the Youth International Forum. So maybe you know it because it happens in different countries. I was 21, I think, or 22. And I was fired because the director said that I was too young to manage the whole session, the whole like group of the forum. So for me, it was really very important, significant event in my career, because I understood that I need to fight for myself. And if I'm experienced enough, I need to make people understand that my experience goes beyond my age. And even if I'm 21 or 22, I can still manage the whole group during the forum. So I hope that you're working right now on this, but I want to tell you that I want to explain you why it's very important to do this little like table. Because this is a very cool exercise that helps you identify skills gaps and performance gaps that could potentially deteriorate your professional development. So let's go next. And another thing that you need to answer in order to do the self-exploration of yourself is to answer 4 questions. Number 1, you need to write your strengths. Let me give you an example. So for example, my strength is public presentations. So public speech is a very easy thing for me. I know that it's my strength. I don't need to prepare myself a lot because I can do it easily. The next thing is my skills and competences. So here you need to indicate what kind of skills you are having and what kind of competences you are having. For example, my skills are, I can indicate communication skill, public speaking, what else I can do? Social media management. The next thing is my interest. Here you need to indicate what you're interested in. Let me give an example again, so about myself. I would say that my interest is media, communication, TV, broadcasting, and journalism. And my values. This is a very, very, very important question because very often different companies have their own values. For example, some can be really very passionate about environment and sustainability. So if you're also sharing this value of sustainability, it's really very important for you. You need to indicate it here too, in order to understand who you are. Because here in self-exploration, you're exploring yourself and you're understanding who you are, who you really want. So that like you're not then, suffering on one of the positions because you understand that it's not something that you really like. So I hope that you indicated this thing because I'm going to send you this presentation after that anyway. And you haven't a chance like to finish it. Let's go next. The next step is market research. Market research involves investigating industries, companies, and functions of your interest. On market research, you are understanding what is going on in the job market. Who are working there, what kind of companies are there, who, and what you really need to pay attention to is people. Because again, as I've said, 65 or 70% of people get their jobs through networking. And in the COVID time, of course, you can say like, sorry, like what, like people like now. Yeah. So how you can do that? Association, memberships, clubs, university clubs are a very cool thing to network. Before the pre-pandemic time, there were career events that university was organizing in which they were inviting different companies during which you could speak with them. But I remember even from my UNESCO experience that we were doing online events, career events for graduates and for students. And during these events, so potential employees could speak with us, with employers, and understand how to get a certain job. Or to send a CV, for example, so that we can check it. So check online career events now. You can find it even on the website of the organization you are going to. You can Google it very easily. So that's why if somebody will say like, oh, I can't find it, I don't trust you. I'm kidding. Anyway, and another thing that you really need to explore is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the world's largest networking site. There you can understand and see people who are already working in the industry and analyze what kind of careers they were doing in order to get the position that maybe you are dreaming about. And there are absolutely different websites how to network on LinkedIn. And there are different tips how to do that. The one that you're seeing now on my screen is one that was done by LinkedIn. If you even like Google like how to network on LinkedIn, you're going to find it. And there are going to be a lot of tips like how to make a profile, how to speak with those people who are already in the industry, how to use messages there, like, and how to do. It's an absolutely professional network that are used by a lot of employers in order to find the prospective employees and see their CV there. What else you need to look at? So you understood now that you need to use LinkedIn, you need to already join different clubs in your industry, the one you want to work for. But what else you need to do? Right now, I want you to like also to make a little note about this. During the market research, you also need to research organizations. So make a list of potential requirements that you have for your potential future job. But make only 3 important things that you find important as requirements. Let me give you an example. My 3 requirements now, for example, for my potential job is country. I want to live in Italy. So this job needs to be located in Italy. Salary. I need to make like at least, for example, 200,000 like per year. And number 3, it needs to be something connected to communication. So this is an example of 3 requirements I'm having for myself, and I want to focus on all the organizations that respect this kind of requirements. And when you understood for yourself 3 potential requirements you are having, now you can think about potential companies that can suit you. And here you need to start analyzing the potential company. So what you're going to do? So you need to make a list of companies. For example, so I'm doing international relations, and I understand that I can potentially work in the UN and UNESCO, UNICEF, or like UNHCR. Yeah. What I need to do next? So I made a list for myself. Now I need to go to the website of the organization and find the potential positions that can be interested for me, that would respect my requirements, Italy, like this salary and these interests, and analyze the requirements for this kind of position. So what the organization is requiring me to be in order to have this position. And number two, to find people who already work there and start networking there. So for example, if I'm interested in the UN, I can go to LinkedIn. I can see all the people who are working already in communication in the UN and start writing to them maybe, or like asking them whether they like their job to get their opinion and understand whether my expectations are real. Maybe whether it's really like that to work there, or it's just something illusionary that I have in my head. But again, don't expect that everybody going to tell the truth. But anyway, so what is happening here? During self-exploration, you have your real you, and we understand who you are. And this is you with your skills, with your ambitions, your interests, your advantages, disadvantages, everything. And we, during the market research, we understand your dream job with this salary, with this city, with this like expectations, whatever. And now we need to understand what is between, how to connect real you with your dream expectation that you're having. But before, let me give you an example how to research on the organization. So before that, I was saying that when you do a list of organizations, you need to analyze the requirements this organization is having. So let's say that I'm interested in working at the UN. So I go to the UN website, usually like big organizations, like not big, but like not any again, like, but usually organizations are having their website. So you do name plus the word careers. Because normally HR departments are doing this page for those people who are interested in getting a job there. So you do, for example, I'm interested in UN, so I'm doing UN careers. I see their website, careers.un.org, and I go next. And there I find a job. This is an example. The posting title is communications consultant. And I see that I can work potentially in Geneva for United Nations Environment Program. Sorry, guys. Overwhelmed. Anyway, so when I scroll, I see the sections where they say qualifications and special skills. This is what I need, because this is exactly where I can understand what is needed for the potentially job in communications for me. And I see that they are asking for advanced university degree in the field of international relations. Okay, done. I'm having it. Experience, at least 5 years of progressively responsible work experience in media and communications related to environment or climate change or development. So I already understand that if in the future, when I finish my university, when I do everything, I do internship, it's very important for me to get experience in communications in a certain field of development, for example, what is more general, in order to get this kind of job. Next, strong writing and editing skills. So it means that I need to work on these skills. During these years, I can use it, in order to make it better. Strong computer skills, Microsoft Office, web applications, social media monitoring tools. So again, I understand that these are the skills I need to develop. Knowledge of environment issues in the context of disasters and conflicts, prior experience of communicating complex multidimensional issues to a non-specialized audience, relevant work experience in developing countries or in conflict, post-conflict settings in the asset. So they are not really asking for that, but they are saying it would be great. So I already understand. So I think that you understand the logic, right? So I'm analyzing, and you can look at different job openings at this organization you are potentially thinking about working in. And you can analyze them and understand what kind of potential things can help you, because believe me, for example, it's definitely logical that communications jobs would require me to have very good writing skills, right? I think it's also very clear. So you need to analyze them to understand and to make a list for yourself of certain skills that you already maybe have or you can work on and you can get potentially. So as I said before, so now we understanding how to focus on, like how to match real you and your dream job. So let's go. And we are going to the third step, what is called focus. So here we are understanding how you are matching, you are matching the expectations of the job right now. So here we are trying to understand whether you are already a good fit or you're not good enough with your interest, skills, knowledge, and experience while you are also defining an organizational context. And in order to do that, maybe some of you who are doing political science or like business administration, you know that we're going to do SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is about analyzing your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities,
And
and
threats.
threats. Great. Somebody, I'm very happy about that. So here you will need to indicate what you're strong in. So basically, sorry for saying that, but we are analyzing what is the situation right now, not potentially, right now. So also make some notes for yourself so that like you're gonna start doing SWOT analysis now or after the lecture, but anyway, like make some notes. So let's start from the beginning. Strengths. In strengths, you need to answer the question, what do you excel? Where do you excel? What skills, knowledge, abilities, personality traits, and experience can you offer now an employer? Example, I can offer an employer skills and experience in the industry, like in the communication industry and social media management. This is what I'm having now. This is what I already have and I possess. I can offer writing skills. I can offer management skills, whatever you're having now. So you need, because we already did this work, homework, we did self-exploration, we said about your strengths, your interests, blah, blah, blah. And here we're already what you can potentially offer. The next thing is weaknesses. And usually it's easier than strengths to identify your strengths because usually in the young age, we are all having imposter syndrome. This is a feeling when we think that we are not good enough. So in weaknesses, you need to say in what areas are you not comfortable or proficient yet? So you understand that, for example, you still don't have a professional network in media communications and broadcasting. So you don't know people from CNN, you don't know people from NBC, but you want to work there. Or, for example, poor interviewing skills. You know that you haven't had so many interviews in your life, and you would love to work on it in order like to be prepared. The next thing is opportunities. So here you need to focus on the market, and you need to answer the question, what market situations exist that will help you get a job in a particular function or industry you are targeting. For example, you understand that you are working with social media and communication, and you are analyzing the market now. You're doing your research on Google, like and online, and you understand that now there's quite a demand for people with communication skills. Or there was a recent merger results in demand for your offerings. So here you're analyzing what is going on in your market. So you're not going there blind. You are already analyzing what is going on. Or you understand that you're a translator, for example. But you know that there are a lot of artificial intelligence translator software now. And you are analyzing that it can be a potential threat for you. So you are writing, so what is happening now? And you understand that in order, if you have you are a translator, but you have this, and this skill, you can potentially get a certain offering. And what I was saying now about translators, for example, is very good for analyzing threats. Because in threats, you are answering the question, what market scenarios exist that pose a risk to your goal? So you are forecasting right now already. For example, now we are living in the COVID time. So you can already say that there is a weak economy, or the industry you are studying at can be target industries that hit particularly hard by the economy and by the COVID-19 virus. So you are looking really at the market you want to work in and understand what this market can offer you as a specialist and what are the threats. Again, so very simple example is regarding technologies. You know that there are a lot of jobs that are disappearing because of the rise of technologies. If you understand that your job or something you want to do is exactly something that can hit hard, maybe it's time now to understand this threat, analyze it, and know how to turn it at your point, understanding how to get advantage out of it, and to get maybe some skills that can help you potentially to get a job in the future. But again, analyzing market is very important, because sometimes people start studying something just because they think that something is prestigious. Being a lawyer is prestigious. Excuse me, prestigious for what? Like, let's look at the market. Does the market need lawyers now? And again, you need to look at the country to understand the country context where you want to work. And we, after the SWOT analysis, we go to the last point. It's planning. So you already understood who you are. You understand what market can offer you. You compare it. You said, like, this is my strength, this is my weakness, this is what the market can offer, this is what is bad about this. And now you can do planning. In planning, you use what you have learned about yourself and market opportunities to formulate a vision and the associated goals that are personally meaningful and motivating for you. Here you need to answer these kind of questions. You can make a screenshot of the screen, or again, like I will send this presentation, but it's very, very important now or after the presentation to answer these questions. Question number 1, where do I want to be in 2 years? So now it's 2021. So we understand like what you want to be in 2023. I want to be an NBC broadcaster, or I want to be a fashion designer. So here you think not only about function, but also industry and geographical location. I want to be an NBC broadcaster in New York, 2023. This is my goal. Question number 2, what are the key skills that I need to develop to get there? I analyzed, I look at NBC website. I saw that in order to be a broadcaster, I need to have like a work experience of 3 years, for example, in broadcasting. So I need to have broadcasting skills, and I need to have writing skills. I need to have 3-year work experience in broadcasting. I need to have skills, interview skills, for example. I'm pitching ideas for you. Next question, where do I want to be in 5 years? We go next. I thought that like it's only 2023. 2026, who I want to be. Let's say that I want to be an editor-in-chief in Vlog magazine, for example. So this is my another goal. Or I want to be editor-in-chief, or I want to be a producer on CNN or NBC. What are the additional skills that I need to develop to get there? If I'm a producer, I also need to have like management skills. I need to have maybe some words. Maybe I need to have this. Again, after analysis, it's very clear for me what kind of skills, additional skills to a broadcaster I need to develop in order to get there. Next, how does that fit in with where the job market is headed? This is a real check where you are saying that, okay, I want to be a broadcaster. Well, will the market need me in 5 years to be there? This is where I will use my SWOT analysis in order to understand whether there are any threats. So again, like I think that the COVID-19, of course, it's a very like unplanned thing through the market, but anyway, so with the rise of technologies, you already can broadcast some things and understand the tendency that is going on. So I can potentially think that maybe the market will not need broadcasters on TV, because I see that there is a tendency that people are watching TV less and less. So maybe it will be more important for me to think about digital journalism and to work on this direction. What else should I consider? Maybe I need to consider exactly that, like if I want to be a digital journalist, because I understand that people are watching TV less and less, I also need to work on my digital skills and to be more proficient in this. So I hope that you understood the logic of these questions, right? And this is what you need to answer for yourself. But believe me, like after doing these previous steps, so it's getting clear, absolutely. Next, After you answer all these questions, you go to the section of action plan. Here, you have only 2 questions, but they are very broad and very important and very general. Question number 1 is, what are your next steps? So here you're writing exactly what are my next steps. Okay, I know that I want to be an NBC broadcaster. What is my next step? Graduation, to graduate, to work on my interview skills, and to think about working on it, to work on my writing skills, to get 2 years experience in broadcasting, to find an internship that respect these requirements, to apply for jobs or search for jobs in this area. So you are writing exactly in the very, very I'm just pitching now again, it's not how it's supposed to be, but you are writing in details what kind of steps you can take in order to be where you want to be. And the next thing you need to do is click this link to create your list of 30, 50 target companies. And this is very hard again. So you take a list and you write all potential 30, 50 companies you can work for with your expectations, with your skills, or something that are respecting your interests. And on this part, I want to congratulate you, because in the scary uncertainty between the 20s and 30s, you invested now time in your career strategy that you can use in your next 2 or 5 years. Even if we didn't have so much time now, in order for you maybe to finish, I still want to tell you that even if you did some drafts, you already started. And it would be great if you finish already today. And now I think that we can go to questions.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible?
Okay, so here I am. I see the chat box. Yeah.
Ma'am, I have some questions for you, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have read each of your Instagram posts that you've posted since day 1. I've read all of them. Ma'am, you have told that
It's
sometimes
true.
we actually choose a career because sometimes it's more certain, but that's not what we like. Example that you gave was you wanted to do a PhD, but you didn't do it because you thought it's just because it's certain that for the next 3 to 4 years you're gonna be students. Ma'am,
Absolutely.
yeah, ma'am. So how do you think that we should avoid that? I mean, it's very easy to fall in that pit. It's very easy to not take the calculated risk. Ma'am, how do you think that we should avoid that every time it falls in our path?
I think that you should start it's we call it a kind of permanent student status. I also have a post about this on Instagram that we always rely too much on our university, thinking that if we started studying, so this is what we are supposed to do. And if we already entered the university, so all done, because now university is supposed to give us a job. Sooner you understand that it's not going to be like this, better it is for you. University is also a business model. They are attracting you in order to get money. So it's also a business model. They are giving you education, it's true, but this is how the world works. But you need to start from the beginning working on your career. So it's what you're asking is the psychological challenge we are having inside ourselves.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
sooner you understand that there is no reason to postpone. Because the only thing that's going to happen if you postpone, I'm going to do masters, I'm going to do the next masters, I'm going to do PhD, I'm going to be the second PhD, is you're losing your time while somebody else is already getting experience in some area.
Ma'am, also that you have lived in 5 different countries and you're speaking 5 different languages. So, ma'am, how important is that for us to to learn a different language, and how important can that be in our career growth? Is that something?
When you choose a language you want to speak, learn the language that you can potentially use for your work and for your life. For example, the first language that I was learning, of course, was English, but then the third language I was learning was Spanish. And I was thinking strategically. I was thinking, I want potentially to have a job that I can work potentially with Latin American countries. And I was working in Latin American country because I was working in Colombia. So it was my career goal. And I was learning this language. At the same time, there are also some, events in your life that you cannot control, because I never wanted to work in Italy, for example. Yeah. So, but when I discovered this country, I realized that it's very interesting, and I wasn't learning the language before, and definitely, like, it's a pity that I wasn't doing it. But now I understand that I won't potentially do that. So I'm learning this language. So always think about it in a strategic point of view. If you learn Arabic, okay, so do you want to live in the Arabic countries? So always, like, ask yourself this kind of question so that it's strategically advantageous.
Ma'am, when you started your career, what was the initial challenges that you faced while you were doing that? Like, could you share, if you can share with us?
Um, I wanted too much. I wanted too much. Because my first volunteer project was when I was 16 or 15, even, really. Like, I started working pretty early, and I would always wanted too much. And it's also like another psychological thing that is happening to youngsters, because we always want to have the best. And again, like, this is just a stage of our becoming a bit more mature. We think, I don't want to be like other people. I don't want to have office work. I don't want to sit. I want to be unique. But believe me, being unique is not so unique because everybody, when they're young, want to be unique. Sooner, again, you understand that it's just a part of your life, to get experience, to have routine work. Routine is normal because it's something that is teaching you to be disciplined. Better it is for you, because in 5 years of the routine work, you will have experience and you can get a higher position. And somebody else will be still thinking, oh my God, no, I deserve the best. I want to be better than this. Better than what? Life is not so exciting. It's not about, like, just, oh my God, I'm going to get the best position. No, it doesn't work like that. When you get any best position, any best thing, there's a lot of work behind. I've heard a very good phrase about talent. Some people say people are born to be talented. No. Behind the talent, there's very hard routine work that somebody was doing every day. This is talent.
Ma'am,
I see.
also, like, yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I saw that also, like, there are questions in the chat box, but I know that you also
Yes,
had
ma'am.
questions that were prepared by the members here. So
No,
how
ma'am.
should we?
Not, ma'am. Anything
Okay.
you would like, any question you would like to ask is completely fine.
Okay. So I mean,
You want
no,
to
just
do?
say, like, how you want to do. Like, I'm open to anything. Like, should we go to the chat box?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think we
Yes,
should
ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
go
great.
with that.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I see that you're here. So the first one that I saw is that what were the challenges you faced in the early phase? Ah, okay. So that's what, because you were reading this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. He
How
was
would you
taking the
manage the
question.
stress of tight deadlines? Um, I would say that, like, it's very, very important to work in your mental health, and tight deadlines. If you understand that it's very hard for you, like, makes you feel anxious, so really invest some resources in working with your mental health, and think how you can make yourself less anxious. Because in my life, I had situations when I was taking too many projects, too much work, and it just, like, I ended up with a burnout. I was thinking, I'm strong. What's the problem? Like, I can do a lot of things at the same time. Burnout, one. Burnout, two. Panic attacks. It's, like, they're not like people who are just stronger. Just about tight deadlines, every anxiety you can feel. Everybody have an anxiety. Can you believe it? It's the truth, really. Like, don't think that somebody is just stronger. If you look at me and I'm giving you a speech, it doesn't mean that I don't have anxiety. So you can get a psychologist. Universities are always sometimes helping students and give free psychological support. So check with your university whether you can get free psychological support. If you don't have a chance, like, to invest in it, resources, think about some, like, organizations that can maybe are helping youngsters. So, or read some books on this. Like, also you can go to my Instagram page. I'm writing sometimes some advice on how to work with mental health and what kind of books would be good to read. What kept you going when you felt like giving it up on your dreams? It's a very hard question. Discipline. We were speaking with the person I'm working with, like, yesterday, that, like, when you do social media, you always want to give up. Because can you imagine that like every day you need to go online? But you're not you're not in the mood every day. Sometimes you want to be just alone. You want to like put the blanket and say like, no, guys, but discipline makes you go. And something that like you just kick your ass by yourself and say like, hey, come on. If not you, nobody else. There is nobody around the corner who's going to save you. It's not a fairy tale. Anyway, I like Disney movies. Okay, let's go on. Ma'am, do you think that the SWOT analysis we make can change after a period of time? If yes, can it also create a change towards our career choice? Of course, guys, come on, believe me. You're gonna write one career strategy, but when you will start taking actions, it can change. Of course, it can change. You can add new things. It's not a thing that you're gonna like write and it's impossible to, to change it. Absolutely. Of course, it's gonna change. And believe me, more you're gonna take actions, more you're gonna change it, and more confident you're gonna feel about your choice. You'll be like, I'm doing it already. I know where I'm standing. I know what I want, and I'm absolutely certain. And I don't talk about what you're saying because I know what I want. So it's gonna be like that, believe me. If you could start over again, what would you do differently? I would make a career strategy when I was at my bachelor's degree or already at school. I would sit with myself and speak very seriously and say, hey, come on, what you want from your life? I understand that you think you're very young, but believe me, it's already time when you can think how to use strategically next 6 years of your bachelor's degree and master's degree. 6 years. Can you believe 6 years? It's a lot. How can you use these 6 years to get experience so that like when you graduate, you already, hey guys, I already have a CV of a lot of things and I already like I already can be in the competition. In my life, I was doing so many projects. I never, like when I was studying, I never used vacation. I never had holidays. I was like, what's the point of doing it? I was always doing an internship, volunteer work. So at the end, at the time of graduating, one of the times I came to HR, I think it was UN Secretariat in Geneva. And I came to them, it was career fair. And I came to them with a CV I did on my own. It was a CV of 5 pages. 5 pages. Can you believe it? 5 pages of my life. Because I was working in 3 elections, 6 internship, 2 volunteer projects, like work, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, okay, but who you are? Who you are? You're everything. I was like, that's a very good question. And they were like, you have no strategy. I was like, that's true. I didn't have strategy because I could use the 6 years working on writing skills, only communication skills, broadcasting, blah, blah, blah. I was doing everything. And it's okay too, because it's also a way to learn what you can do in your life. It doesn't mean that you need to understand it at school, but sooner you understand it, better it is, because at 25, you can already I can give you an example of my friend, who is, I don't know, here now or now, anyway, she's working now in London for the bank, and she understood at a very early age that she wants to be to work in finances. She want to be a trader, and she was doing everything what she was doing in her life. She was very, very strategic. She was doing her bachelor degree in this area. Then she took a gap year. And what she was doing during the gap year, she was working for the investment company for 1 year at a shitty position. But it doesn't matter. She was getting experience. She was getting networking in city where she wanted to potentially work. After that, she was getting a master's degree. And during her master's degree, she was networking and trying to get a job for all the years she was there. So she strategically knew what she wanted to do. Result, she's graduating in summer. In August, September, she started her job in London in the leading bank. That's a very great example of how you strategically think. It doesn't mean that you need to do 100 things. I'm going to do this project. No. You do one project, but it's a project you're doing for 2 years. It's a good company, or you can get networking, whatever, and you are working as a specialist in this exact area. Don't try to be everybody, everything. It doesn't exist. You cannot be a specialist in everything, but you can be a very cool specialist in engineering. And when
That's
they're going
so
to be
true.
yeah, if I'm going to be a vacancy in engineering, people will say, she's graduated, but she already has experience working in here. She's an engineer. This is what we need. HRs, when they look at your CV, they look whether you have skills. They are not interested to see everything and seeing like, oh my God, she's God. she's everything. No, she want to see, she has communication skills. Okay, let's see where she worked. She was doing this and this and this. And if you have a lot, they can also think that you are not persistent. You are not assertive. They can think that you are, you start think and you stop doing it like just automatically because you're too bored or whatever. But also like, it's very important for HRs to see that you can do routine work. Okay, so what made you step into social activities? Social activities, you mean like human rights, right? Like and all of this thing. I don't know. Like I would say that inner sense of justice and I realized that it was just interesting for me to voice myself, to lead other people, to defend other people's rights. I felt it inside myself that it's something that I want to do. And when I tried and it worked, I realized that, oh, maybe I have a potential actually to make it something bigger.
Ma'am, it was like really nice talking to you, and we got to know the point that in India, what I see is my peers have the mindset that in order to go abroad or in order to have a successful career, you need to have your thumb in every pie. But you need to choose your pie, and like you need to stick with it, and you need to be laser focused in what you're supposed to do, and then the probability of you finding success is higher. It does not ensure that you will find success, but the probability becomes higher. And I think it was really good that you told us this thing, and you were there to put the facts out for us. You were there to lay a roadmap for us. And I now, on behalf of all the participants of this meet and the Leo Club, express my heartfelt gratitude for you taking the time out of your busy schedule and joining us over here, guiding us like for a session which I think most of us needed the most because it is the correct time for us to start working towards our career right now. Since we are in our early grad years, most of us over here are first years, and if we start making a plan in a month or two, and we have a plan ready by this year, and then we start working on it, the chances of us being separated from the rest gets higher, as you just said. So thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing us with your presence and your moving words. This has been an enlightening evening, and all of us, I'm sure, everyone will leave having found a new way of looking at this world. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am, and making this evening special for us.
Thank you very much too. So if you, I still see there are some questions, but anyway, like even if you have something, you can find me on Instagram and write to me on direct messages, and see my stories, and we can interact with you there. So if you want to, if you
Yes, ma'am.
know something else about me,
I'll be
thank you too
sharing.
for like inviting me.
Yeah, ma'am, the pleasure was all ours, and I'll be sharing your Instagram handle with all of our participants so that if they have any other questions, they can ask you directly. Or what we'll be doing is we'll be collecting the questions and sending it to you formally if there are sufficient questions. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Ma'am. Bye-bye.